Ofsted bowed to pressure and halts inspections after the Ruth Perry's suicide. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that Ofsted are bowed to pressure and halts inspections after the Ruth Perry's suicide. The new leader, Martyn Oliver, said he will heed unions' calls after the coroner ruled the inspection had contributed to the head teacher's death. So, a new leader's come in place in Ofsted, and I want to first of all say this is finally a positive step in the right direction. To halt these inspections, because her tragic loss of life for what happened to her was in contribution to the inspections. They have really lost their ways, Ofsted when it comes to their inspections and the way that they conduct themselves, and it really did put unnecessary, unprecedented pressure on teachers and head teachers when it comes to the work that they've done. And it is an absolute tragic loss of life, and it should never have happened in any way, shape or form. Now, while they have a responsibility to go in, while they have a responsibility, and I understand that the responsibility that they have on their shoulders, there is also a way to treat teachers, to treat the people that they are dealing with as well. And there were also questions about the way that they treated and talked to people as well. I think is also another thing that needs to be put into question as well. And I don't know. I am torn about whether or not they should be doing this, about doing these random inspections. There have been some ideas and suggestions. We have talked about in the past about other ways that they could potentially do these checks as well, without having to go into the schools themselves, which I think there's also been that conversations that have been had as well. I do think they can still do coming in checking in school inspections themselves. I think they can still do that, but it needs to be much less scrutiny when it comes to that. And I think data should be more of a valuable asset as opposed to being there in person. The data that the head teachers and the schools provide on their work should be more applicable, as opposed to them being on top of them in the schools. What they're physically actually doing in there could also should be more in contrast as well. But it is a step in the right direction, stopping this pressure, because I did fear that after what happened here to Ruth Perry, I did fear that how many more teachers, head teachers, are feeling the same effects of her right now, who are feeling the same thing. And I think that was the thing that many people were concerned about. So Ofsted inspections will be halted until assessors have been properly trained in protecting the well-being of school staff, the new watchdog chief has announced after the head teacher's suicide. Martyn Oliver became the Chief Inspector of Education in England on Tuesday and has pledged to launch an inquiry into Ofsted's involvement into the death of Ruth Perry. Last month, a coroner ruled that the inspection of Ruth Perry's school had contributed to her death and issued a prevention of future death notice listing a string of issues for the bodies to address urgently. Unions later called for all inspections to be suspended until the interim. Oliver said that he would heed the calls until staff receives immediate training and support on alleviating the stress put on teachers during inspections, with only emergency safeguarding visits going ahead when schools reopen this week. We're not going to start inspecting until that initial training has been put in place, Oliver said. But this training is not just a one-off. It is part of a series that will significantly upskill all of our inspectors on how to manage the well-being of those we're inspecting. Yes, I am totally on board with this. Totally on board with this. He describes how the former chief executive of the chain of academics hearing the death of a fellow school teacher has come as a great shock. Perry's family, including her sister, Professor Julia Waters, said Ofsted's handling of its inspections led to a fatal erosion of Perry's mental health after the school had that she had led for more than a decade. Caversham Primary in Reading was labelled inadequate. Oliver said responding to Perry's death was a crucial moment for the inspectorate, and the Ofsted needed to make a fresh start by overhauling its procedures to win back the trust of teachers' professionalism and parents. First and foremost, I give my heartfelt condolences to the Ruth family. I've reached out to Ruth's sister, Professor Waters, has agreed to meet me very early in January under these dreadful circumstances. I look forward to meeting her and listening to her family's views, Oliver said. He added the prevention of future death notices from the coroner is an important matter for Ofsted, and one that it will, under my leadership, definitely take most seriously. It is a crucial report and we need to respond to it fully, and that means immediate training and support. His predecessor, Amanda Speltzman, came under fire last month after a briefing memo revealed Ofsted's lead inspections would spend just 90 minutes on a briefing to address concerns raised by Perry's suicide. That's absolutely disgusting. Only just a brief memo. Oliver has worked for 28 years as a teacher and a school leader in the East Midlands and in the north of England, most recently as chief executive in the Outward Grange Academics Trust based in West Yorkshire, which runs 41 schools. In that time, he has personally taken part in 96 Ofsted inspections, making him well aware of the impact that Ofsted's visits could have. Oliver has said, "It's really important that we have a fresh start. I accept that there are criticisms and that the coroner's critical findings, but we must take action on. If we don't have that moment of acceptance, we can't possibly move forward." So I do think it's important that we actually learn from this moment and actually look at ourselves and conduct a review of our work, and that I listen carefully, and not just to teachers but to parents. Many schools in England were still affected by the aftermath of the COVID pandemic, he added, with teachers struggling with disruptive behaviour and poor attendance, as well as the cost of living crisis and mental health issues affecting children. These moments of lockdown and then returning for some children not fully returning to school has broken the social contact with parents, Oliver said. Teaching is a very difficult job, and if you've got a class of 30 or 5 children are absent one day and then another 5, the other children are absent, you've got to make the first 5 returning. You're trying to consistently manage that, and that is a difficult job, even more stressful. So I look at attendance, I look at behaviour, I look at a mental health challenge that we've got. You throw that into a cost of living crisis, the recruitment, the retention and challenge for teachers. You put all that into the mix, and yes, it's really hard for us right now for teachers. I'm just going to add before my final thoughts here. In the UK and Ireland, Samaritans are contacted on free phone by 116123 or email joe@samaritans.org or joe@samaritans.ie. In the US, you can text or call the National Suicide Prevention Helpline on 988, chat at 988lifeline.org, or text home to 741 to connect with a crisis counsellor. In Australia, the crisis support lifeline is 13 11 14. Other international helplines can be found at befrienders.org. So if you guys need to talk to anyone right now, there's numbers and contacts there. I've just made that clear on the screen if any of you want to pause the video if you ever need to stop to talk to any of them, guys. So I'm gonna stick my neck out a little bit here, and I'm gonna say I think Martyn Oliver, I think he's gonna do good things. He comes across, based on what I've read there and from his record, I generally hope that this guy is going to do good things. And take things on board. He has the experience. He knows what it's like to be a teacher, and he's going out of his way to stop and listen to people. And I just hope that this is a step in the right direction. I'm very optimistic with this person. I really, really am. And he says he comes across from someone, from what I've read there, that he says all the right things about what's happening here. And I generally hope any teachers who are watching this agree with me that perhaps he will be the right person for this job. Now, obviously, the way they do these Ofsted inspections and that going forward will have to be obviously questioned. And I just hope that they move forward in the right way, and that schools can still be held accountable, but not thrown literally under a bus sort of way by these inspections. And I just hope long may it continue into the next government as well. I'm just glad that they stopped and halted these inspections and actually taken this seriously. I'm glad that the previous leader's gone, because it felt like that everyone was screaming and shouting about it, and then it was just nothing. Nothing was done. Nothing changed. There was no halting. It was just carrying on, and it was just like, why? Like, someone lost their life here. Like, why are we not stopping and taking this seriously? And that's the other thing as well. Why did it take someone's life for them to realise that something needed to change? This is one of the things that really infuriates me. That someone has to lose their life, or lives have to be lost for people to realise, oh, we might actually need to do something about this. You know, I look back at what happened with the Hillsborough disaster in that football game. And it was only because people died that they realised, oh, we can't always have fans standing up. Maybe we should have them sitting down. It took people's lives for them to realise the change is there. And here, in this situation, there's only now they've realised maybe we should change something because someone lost their life. It seems to me, in many cases in life, yeah, when it comes to important situations and things, too many times it takes someone has to lose their life for people to realise maybe we should do something about it, as opposed to doing something beforehand, where this did not have to happen. She did not have to lose her life. This could have been avoided. Too many times this happens, not just in the UK, but around the world. Too many times it takes someone to lose their life for people to wake up and realise that. And it's just not good enough from people. People need to stop assuming that they know everything and listen to others around them. This could have been avoided. And everyone knows it. So what do you guys make of it? What do you guys make of Martyn Oliver? Do you think he'll make a difference? Do you think he generally believes that he's the right person for that job? I'm very optimistic that he will listen and heed warnings and do what is right. But what do you guys honestly think? Let me know in the comment section down below what you honestly think about him and what you think about Ofsted going forward. Hit the like button, be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so other people are aware of it. And hit that bell notification icon so you'll be notified when I upload another video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for just 99p or joining me on Patreon for exclusive content. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.